my channel, and I am Stephanie, and this is what you guys asked for in my Twitter poll, and you wanted to know how many or what arcs I received in 2018 so far. As I said, this video is going to be all of the books that I have received in 2018 so far as arcs or advanced reads. And yeah, this list is pretty long, guys. Starting off the year, well, as of June 20th, 2018, I have received 71 arcs, so I'll be going over 71 books. And I have actually read 33 of those books, and I'll let you guys know which ones I have read and which ones I haven't as I get to them. So the first book was 3 Blind Dates by Meghan Quinn. I did read this book. I really enjoyed this book. It is in my January wrap-up, so if you want to hear my feelings on that, please go check that out. The next book was Lost for You by Jane Frost. I read this one as well, and I enjoyed it. I put it in my January review. The Right Secret by K.A. Linde, and I have read this one. I think it might be in February's wrap-up, but it could also be in January's. Scoring Mr. Romeo by A.M. Madden and Joanne Schwehm. Loved this book. Oh my goodness, loved this book, so I read it. My Torrin by Kay Webster. I have not read this book, but Kay likes to give me dark and twisty, so I really want to sort of dive into that. I have to find time to do that. Love You Through It by Fabiola Francisco, and I read this one. I loved it. It's in my January reviews. Thrive by Martinez. I enjoyed this book, and the review is in January wrap-up. She Asked For It by Willow Winters. Read it, enjoyed it, got my heart torn out by it. January wrap-ups. Respect by Aleatha Roman, and read it, enjoyed it. Found some flaws in it, but definitely enjoyed it, and it's in the January wrap-up as well. Love War by Carrie Hart, which I read and really enjoyed it. I do believe that one is in a different month's wrap-up, but I'm not exactly sure. But yeah. I also received Love Divide and Love Conquer by Carrie Hart as well. Next, I got The Upside of Being Single by Emma Hart. This one was not my favorite, but I did a review for it, and you can find it either on my Goodreads page or in February's wrap-up. Watch Me Follow by Harlow Rowe, and I did not read this book, but I kind of want to get to it. It has an awesome cover. I'm loving the blues and the purples and the watercolor look to this cover, and I think that's initially what dragged me into wanting to read it, and because Harlow is a new-to-me author. Keeping It by Rachel Robinson. Read it, loved it, totally enjoyed it. February's a wrap-up. Fix My Fall by Carrie Heywood. Loved it. Enjoyed it. February's wrap-up. Elite by Carrie Aarons. Enjoyed it. February wrap-up. Bulletproof number 4 by Jenna Galicki. I DNF'd this book, and I believe in my February wrap-up I give you the reasons why I did. Gods and Monsters by Saffron A. Kent. And really enjoyed it. Very different. Read it, obviously. February's wrap-up. Return to Us by Christy Pastore. Read it. Really enjoyed it because this one is about a married couple, and it shows the dynamics of being in the entertainment business, but also being married and the things that you might actually have to go through. Yes. Home Run King by Stella. Read it. Loved it. February's wrap-up. Go check that out if you like sports romances and long-term friendships that turn into something a little more. Oh, yes. One Last Time by Corinne Michaels. Loved it. February's wrap-up. Heart Stronger by Rachel Blaufeld. I read it, but I believe it may be in a different month's wrap up, but enjoyed it. Didn't enjoy it as much as I've loved some of the other books that I've read by Rachel before, but I was feeling it. Feeling it. Waterfall Effect by K.K. Allen. I have not read this, but I do want to. Cake by Carmen Jenner. I have not read this book, but I read another book that was very interesting by Carmen, I want to say 2 years ago. And I believe I signed up for this one last year. So when it came in, I was like, why? Why did I? Ooh, yeah. Love Broken by J.D. Holyfeld, and I love J.D.'s writing. I love watching her and reading her Instagrams and her Twitter post. Actually, I don't think she's on Twitter. Her Facebook stuff with Kay Webster. So I really enjoyed the books that I have read by J.D. Holyfeld, and I really want to get to this one. I just haven't had a chance to yet. Snow and the Seven Huntsmen by Zoe Blake and Alta Hensley. And this was actually as a series, and you'll hear the other books that come along. I believe they are standalones, but I haven't read it, and I really kind of want to, because it's supposed to be dark and taboo and twisted and fairy tale retelling and reimagined type books. Two Wedding Crashers by Meghan Quinn. Loved it, read it, yay, in March's wrap-up. The Scars I Bear by J.L. Berg. Read it, really enjoyed it, because this is the follow-up book or spin-off book. Get It On by Jay Kenner. And this book I have not read, and I signed up for this last year because she did like a push out for a book every 2 weeks. And I tried to offset it, but I had so many books already, if you haven't been noticing, that, yeah, it got a little complicated and a little jumbled for me. Plus, I read a lot of books in March. Label Me Proud by Stephie Walls. I just found Stephie Walls, and I'm really enjoying her, so I really want to backtrack and get into this book because it's Stephie. Yeah. Drowning by Margaret McHazer. I have not read this book, but I want to read this book because Margaret rocked my world with Dying Wish, and I need to get back into the mind of this wonderful Aussie writer. Wrong Side of Heaven by Gia Riley, and I have not read this one, but I really want to get to it. Are we finding a theme here for the books that I haven't read, because I kind of want to get to a lot of them. Secrets of Spring by Julie Serrano and Tracy Justice. Read it, really enjoyed it. It is one of those books that if you're a parent, you definitely will be able to understand it, because even though it is a YA, it deals with heavy topics, and they do an amazing job of getting into these teenagers' minds. Devils and Rye by Alta Hensley, and I read previous books from Alta. I haven't read this one, but I read previous books from her, and I wanted to sort of dive back into her world and see if it was because it was a short story that I didn't particularly care for her other books, but I wanted something full and a standalone. So, yeah. Avalanche by Cambria Hebert. I want to get into this one because Cambria is an amazing writer. I love the two books that I have read from her, and I just kind of want to get into another snow mountain type story. And this one, I believe, is at a resort, a snow resort. So yeah, I need to get into that. Our Unscripted Story by L.A. Fior. I just read this one. I absolutely loved it. I had it for a while. Don't know why I didn't read it before, but I listened to it on audiobook, and damn it, does L.A. do an amazing job at finding some awesome foreign speaking narrators, or I don't know if they're, well, that can get the accent. Oh my gosh. This book has an Irish main male character, and the accent is just amazing. And then the story, she does lifetime stories, like from the young age to the now and beyond, so well, so beautifully, just so amazing. Loved this story so very much, so very much. Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. I have not read this book, but I really want to, and I really need to, because she has another book about this basketball team, I believe, another member of the basketball team from this series, from this book, coming out in September. So I've got to get this one read, like, here soon. Hit Girl by Tia Louise, and I have not read this one. I believe the author, it may have been a free book, is the reason why I got this one. I'm not exactly sure. But I haven't read anything by her, by Tia, yet. But I've met Tia, so yeah, got to get that done. Thrust Under by Michelle Valentine. I have not read this book, but Michelle is my girl, and I need to dive back into the world of Michelle Valentine because she's an amazing writer. I really enjoy her work. Just haven't had time to read it yet. So sad. The Getaway Car / Love Rerouted by Letty Harper. And I say both names because I think the original name was The Getaway Car, and then it was renamed to be Love Rerouted. Not exactly sure, but Letty likes to do things to me emotionally, and I don't think I was in the correct headspace, which is why I haven't read this book. Blackstone, Four Feathers by J.D. Holyfeld. Like I said, yep, just haven't had a chance to read it yet. The Edge of Heaven by Gia Riley, and this is the second book in the duet from the first book. Yeah, Wrong Side of Heaven, I think it was, and haven't read either one of them. Red and the Wolves by Zoe Blake and Alta Hensley. Like I said, it was a series of standalone books that sort of came out, and just haven't had a chance to read them yet. When Stars Burn Out by Carrie Aarons. Haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I really, really want to, because Carrie rocks my world. Yes, she does. She gives good story. Blood Type by K.A. Linde. I have read it. I am looking forward and currently reading the second book in this series, and I wasn't completely connected to the characters in this book, in Blood Type, but I have a feeling that more shall be revealed, and I shall find the connection that I was missing. The Real by Kate Stewart. I did read that one. I did not feel the connection that I usually feel when I read Kate Stewart books, but I was very frustrated with that one, I think, a little. Turn Me On by Jay Kenner. I read this one. I felt this is the 7th book in a book of standalones, that Month of Men series that I told you about in the beginning or earlier in this video. And this book is book number 7, but it really felt like book number 1. You were introduced to a lot of characters, and there was just a lot going on. I wanted to enjoy it, but was kind of thrown out because so much was going on in it. All For You by Fabiola Francisco. Read it, loved it. You can probably find that in the May wrap-up. I want to say probably week 1. Maybe week 1. Yeah. Queen and the Kingsman by Zoe Blake and Alta Hensley. Another book in that standalone series that I have not read yet. Merciless by Willow Winters. Haven't read it, but Willow, I believe I have it on audiobook, so I hope to listen to it soon. All Night Long by Jay Kenner. Another book. I have not read this one, and it's part of that Men of the Month that came out like 2 weeks after the last one. The Right One by K.A. Linde, and really enjoyed this book. This continues on with the Wright family, and one of the characters that I really, really loved, and Sutton was the bomb. I love David as well, and I really need to get to the next book, but I got this review in late, so I did not get a copy of the Duet's second book, so I only had this one. One Baby Daddy by Meghan Quinn, and read it, loved it. Can I have some more, please? Yes. Another one by Aleatha Roman, read it, loved it. In May's wrap-ups, one of the weeks. The Right Love by K.A. Linde. Okay, so the Right one, The Right Love is the one that I have not read yet. My little marks right here are incorrect. I haven't read this one. An Imperfect Heart by Amy Knight. Read it, loved it, so close to Mother's Day that it just totally tore me apart. It's about a mom fighting for her daughter, and yes, so many yeses. So many yeses. Alrighty, so we are getting into what I was supposed to read for the month of June, and being that we're still in June, you guys get to see what I have read, what I haven't read, and things like that. And then we'll get into what I have on coming up, besides those other ones that I already named that I haven't read that need to be coming up. Yeah. So, Light My Fire by Jay Kenner, one of those Men of the Months books that I haven't read yet. Bride to Keep by Alta Hensley and Maggie Ryan. This book is a standalone. I really enjoy the camaraderie and co-authorship of Maggie Ryan and Alta Hensley, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this. It's the end of the month, so hopefully I can possibly squeeze it in, but if not, it will be soon after. It'll probably in July that I read this book. Master of My Heart by Marissa Honeycutt, and I read it. I loved it. I need more Finding Sabrina. Need more. Like now. Wicked Gentleman by Christy Pastore. Read it. Loved it. You guys just sort of saw as a matter of fact, you just saw on Tuesday the review for this one, so go check that out. Family Ties by Stephie Walls. That, loved it, read it. Included in June 17th through the 23rd. It's a wrap up, so go check it out. Craving Mr. Kinky by A.M. Madden and Joanne Schwehm. This is a book that I have not started yet, but I really need to because, yes, because it's them and because I love these guys, and this is the cousin of one of the guys, so it's another Italian, and I'm really looking forward to jumping into this one, but I have to find time to. 1,000 Reasons by Mariah Dietz. I have not read this one yet, and I hope to jump on that bad boy here in the beginning of July. The Upside of Falling by Meghan Quinn. Read it, loved it, and you guys will be seeing the review for that next week. Blood Match by K.A. Linde. Like I said earlier in the video, that this is the book that I was reading, book number 2 in that series, and you guys may be hearing about it soon. Very, very soon. Save the Date by Carrie Aarons, and I just received this one, or recently received this one. You guys will be hearing about that in the upcoming weeks. Tossing It by Rachel Robinson, and you guys will be hearing about this book as well in the upcoming weeks. Memories of Us by Fabiola Francisco. You guys will be hearing about this in the upcoming months. Disgrace by Brittany C. Cherry. Hearing about it in the upcoming months, hopefully. The Downside of Love. You guys will be hearing about this one. Yes, you will. Because this is the follow-up book from The Upside of Falling, and as soon as I get my hands on this one, I will be reading it. Alright, so that's all of the books, all of the arcs that I have received, what you guys may be hearing about in the upcoming months. Have you read any of those books at all? I know it's a lot. I know there's a lot of books on this list. I hope that I can timestamp and, well, no, I probably won't be able to timestamp them all. Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoy the cover thing going on, because, yeah, that's how you're going to have to figure out which books you want to read, which ones you don't. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.